everyone, and welcome to the second video in Numbers Game series. A video series where I will teach you how to analyze stock data whilst keeping it thrilling. So let's start. Today we'll focus on the acquisition of the historical data. Benefits of having access to past data are obvious. For instance, you have to trust edge in your trading strategy to be able to trade it successfully. But how to form such a trust? One of the ways is through confirming positive expectancy of your strategy by performing backtests on your past data. I must admit, I've often felt like a detective without a clue when I lacked reliable past data and wanted to analyze a pattern or backtest a strategy. But today, we're cracking the case of efficient data acquisition for any stock of your choice. And my goal is to share a great package that allow you to acquire past data in no time. So let's open this thrilling case. Before we start, let's gear up. You will need to install R and RStudio. If you haven't installed them yet, download R and RStudio from the link displayed on this screen. Don't forget to install our secret weapon, BatchGetSymbols library, once you're fully set up with your RStudio. So, what's the game plan? We'll first acquire data on one ticker. Then we'll collect a list of tickers that belong to S&P 500 and use that list of tickers to acquire past data for all of them. And finally, it's really your turn to play with the newly acquired data. For instance, you can always apply the knowledge from our previous video to compute moving averages with the newly acquired data. So let's roll up our sleeves and jump into data acquisition action. So I assume that by now you were able to successfully install R and RStudio. Continue with installation of BatchGetSymbols package using install.packages function. Then load this package. There are other R libraries that allow to get stock data from various sources, but I find outputs from BatchGetSymbols to be the most efficient for further processing of the data. Let's now select first and last date of the time period to be covered by historical data. Say we're interested in acquiring data for last 50 days from now. So now is last date, and first date in our data will be current date, which we can access by calling function system date. Minus 50 days. Okay, great. Let's now assume that we're interested in acquiring data on Tesla. It's done using function BatchGetSymbols. Let's look at the most critical arguments of this function. First of all, we need to pass a list of tickers for which we are interested in getting the past data. For the time being, we will acquire only data on Tesla. And then we define a time period to be covered by our past data. And we're passing first and last dates that we have just created. Let's now run this function. The result is being stored in a list called stock data. But we need to select just first element of that list called data frame tickers. Let's open that data frame. Now we can successfully see that we were able to acquire Tesla data for the selected time window, covering the last 50 days, starting from the last trading day up until May 5th. Okay, great. Let's now continue with getting a list of tickers that belong to S&P 500. You can get the list of tickers online, but there's an R package that does it for you. Install and launch tidyquant package and use function TQ index S&P 500. We can see that as a result of that function, we get a full list of all tickers that belong to S&P 500. Let's now repeat the same process of acquiring past data, but instead of getting just testless data, let's instead do it for the first 4 tickers of S&P 500. Let's select first 4 tickers by running this command. And then we can pass them to our BatchGetSymbols function. Let's view the results. As we can see, we were able to successfully acquire data on all of our 4 tickers. And now it's really up to you how to use that data. For instance, you can utilize learnings from our past videos to plot moving averages for the selected tickers by using this command. Let's review the results. We can see that moving averages have been successfully and correctly computed for all of the 4 newly acquired tickers. It is important to understand weaknesses and biases in the newly collected data. For instance, Yahoo Finance does not contain any data on the listed stocks, which of course can dramatically impact backtest results of certain strategies. It's not the purpose of this video, but something that I would recommend to bear in mind. Finally, I'd like to note that there are other ways of getting historical data. For instance, one can access it using Interactive Brokers API. So today we have seen that it's really key to get historical data so that one can form confidence in the edge of their trading strategy. And getting past data is not really that hard. So wait no more. In our upcoming videos, we'll focus on ways how we can use this newly acquired data in order to filter for volatility contraction pattern and Kulamagi style breakouts. Have fun with this data. And until then, keep playing the numbers game.